Today we are going to see about another concept called EFS. Okay, so what is EFS? EFS is called as a elastic file storage. Okay, so we are going to see. Okay, whenever you're going here, and whenever please take a notes. If you want. EFS. So elastic, the managed file storage for EC2. Okay, so you know S3 bucket, right? S3 bucket they have covered. Okay. Likewise, we also have a EFS, elastic file system, or file system or file storage. Okay. Okay. So elastic file system, right? So what is the? Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. What is elastic file system? Okay. So in AWS, right? In AWS, we have three types of storages. Okay, so one is this is one, and this is one, and this is one. Okay, so we have three types of storage options available. Okay, so what are the three types of storage options available? So first option is, okay, so we can just write that storage options. So first option is EBS volume. Okay, so second option is S3 bucket, S3, and third option is EFS. So what is the difference between these three? Okay, so EBS and EFS and S3 bucket. So you already know S3 buckets, right? So what is the difference between all these three things? Is that so whenever you're creating EC2 instances, right? So EC2 instance you know how to create. Okay, so we also already seen that how to create one VM. Okay, so if you're creating any kind of instances, okay, launch instances, okay, so EC2 instances, whenever you're creating, okay, so now I see that how many instances are running. I can also see that how many instances are running. 4 instances are running. Okay, so 4 instances are running with the various images. So if you can go to EBS volumes, elastic block storage is another storage option. Okay, so here you can click on volumes. You can see so many volumes has been created for this one. Okay, so each and every, this is the additional volume we have created that day. Okay, so but other than that, all these four are created by machine itself. When you're creating EC2 instance, it automatically created for you. So if you can delete it, can we delete this one? Can you delete this storage volumes? You cannot delete this volume. Okay, so because it's been blocked, so you cannot delete this one. You cannot. Okay, so detach volume. If you click on this detached volume, it's telling that okay, this volume has been able to is the root volume from the instance. Okay, so it's been attached to instance. But this is the normal instance. Okay, so this instance we can detach or delete volume. Okay, so delete volume, and if you can delete, I can delete it. So if we don't attach this volume to the instances, we cannot use that volume. Or not. What is volume? Volume is nothing but the some storage option, some kind of hard disk. Because we have a hard disk, this is a EBS volume hard disk. So EBS volume hard disk, if you want to use, it has to be attached. It has to be attached to the EC2. Okay, so so this one has to be attached to the EC2 instance, then only it can work. And this can be attached, one volume can be attached to one instance only. Okay, if you have one volume, that can be attached to only one instance only. We cannot attach one volume to multiple instances at the same time. Yes or no? Okay, so the S3 bucket is the object level storage. Object. Okay, so object level storage means you don't need to attach anything for this one. Okay, so no attachment. Okay, without attachment, and there is no EC2 instance also required. So no EC2 instance. EC2 instance is not required. This one. Okay, so this is kind of a option. Okay, so this is kind of an option for your S3 bucket. So there is no attachment. What's attachment? All these things you can see. What is EFS? EFS is kind of a file system. Okay, it's kind of already formatted file system. Okay, file system that is formatted already, you know, in a formatted in NFS, formatted with NFS. Okay, so now this volume, you know, so this is kind of just kind of a raw hard disk. Okay, so just like, you know, for example, you can see this is the hard disk. Okay, so this hard disk is not having any OS or anything. So you have a pen drive, right? Pen drive is already having some kind of OS installed. Otherwise, you have to format it. What is format? You know, like in Windows, we go is for a NTFS format and all. Do you know? If you go to here, okay, NTFS format. You see this one, right? So if you can go for this kind of a things, you know, it will be format. It will format. You also see this kind of options, right? You know what is format means? When you do format, okay, so when you do format disk, you know, so you need to format disk after before you can use it. Okay, this kind of a format things you should be asking. Okay, you need to format it, but this EFS has already been formatted. It's already been formatted, you know, so it's all formatted in some kind of a NFS way. You know, NFS formatted is already been done. Okay, NFS format is already done. So, and this one can attach to multiple instances. This volume can be attached to, if you have one instance, two instance. What is instances means? Instances means virtual machines, right? We are creating virtual machines. It can be attached to multiple instances. Okay, so the one EFS volume can be attached to multiple instances. We are going to see how are we going to attach this one to multiple instances. Okay, now I'm creating one. Okay, now I already have three instances. Okay, I already have these three instances. Okay, so I'm going to log in with all in each one of these ones. Okay, so I'm going to connect this one. Okay, first of all, I'm going to connect one by one. Okay, this is the first image. It's a snap one. Okay, the snap image, we have observed one, observed two, all these things are there. Okay, now we can go to here and click on EFS. Okay, click on EFS. The EFS volume is be opening. Okay, so what we can do is this kind of elastic file system storage. This is a kind of NFS file system. So you see in the college, right? Everybody studies in colleges, right? In the colleges, there will be a common folder. In the lab, there will be a common folder where you can upload the files and you can download the files. Do you know? Have you seen something like that? So we never even went to lab at all, sir. Why are you asking? Right? See, if you go for a browsing center, you know, so if you are a browsing center, if you're working in something, you know, if you want to print some documents, the browsing center guy will tell you, okay, if you want some printing, go and upload in this folder. So please copy your files in this folder so that I can print it from there. You observed it, right? So what is that folder? That particular folder, shared across multiple machines. You know, the one folder can be accessed with multiple machines. I will show you how it is. You know, so for example, I have a resume. Okay, I want my resume to be available in all the systems. Okay, what I have to do? I have to take my pen drive and I have to connect it everywhere and I have to update it. Okay, but I'm making one updation again. Okay, now my resume is everywhere. I want to update my resume. Okay, I want to update my resume and put it over this machine. Okay, but will all the other machine will be having update? No, right? So because I have updated only one machine only. Okay, so instead of that, how we can update our resumes or any kind of documents, you know, that can be updated in all the machines also. Okay, so we are going to see the create file system. Okay, create a file system. File system I'm going to create. This file system name will be okay, my NFS, something like that. Okay, this is kind of a NFS option is created. So VPC, I'm going to create in a default VPC. Okay, so network is all these things we can just see it later. Okay, now I've created the file system over here. Okay, this is the file system which I have created. Okay, so now if you can go and see this one. Okay, it's enabling, automatically enabling. Okay, So monitoring and all these things you can just see. Okay, so now okay, still enabling. Okay, now if you click on attach, okay, so now what I have to do, I'm going to click on attach and I'm going to copy, using NFS mount helper. You can also do like this, or you can just do using a NFS client where you can just do something like this one. You just have to copy this folder and then you have to go to your machine. Okay, so this is your machine. Okay, so this is the root volumes already been created. Okay, so now I'm going to create. Okay, so now I have a, okay, I'm just copying pasting like this one. Okay, now it's telling, so EFS does not exist is what it's telling. Okay, which means that first of all what I'm telling is I want to create one storage. Okay, so that storage should be mounted inside this EFS folder or any kind of a different folder. Okay, now I'm making a mkdir cloud folder. Okay, mkdir means I'm going to create one folder. Okay, that folder is called cloud. Okay, now I'm going to do copy the same command and I'm going to put it over here and then I'm clicking on EF or cloud. Okay, so cloud. Okay, so NFS failed to resolve this one, AWS no server, okay, or not known, because it's still creating. Okay, it's still creating your own application, so it will take some kind of a time. Okay, it will take some kind of a time. If you can see this one, it's still general purpose and then file system. It may take some time. Okay, so now it's available. So now it's not been able to recognize. Now it's not been able to recognize your NFS mounts. So now it's been created, but it's not giving any errors. So the reason why is that you need to go and enable, okay, for a security group wise, right? In the firewall, you need to enable the NFS port, so then only the security group will be enabled for you. Okay, now I'm going to this instance. Okay, so what is this instance name? EC2 instances. Okay, I'm going to EC2. I'm going to EC2 and I'm clicking on this instance, running instances. Okay, this is the instances, right? So for this instance, I'm clicking on this one. I'm going to security and I'm going to click on security group. Okay, so here I'm just enabling, okay, add NFS. NFS will be enabled 2049. Okay, NFS is been enabled. Okay, and for everybody, NFS can be enabled for everybody. So this is what attaching the NFS. I've enabled the NFS over here. Okay, so now if you can go and see this one, still it won't be working now. So the thing is, we need to enable the security group, attach the security group for NFS also. NFS also should have the same security group. Okay, so NFS also should enable the security group should be allowed. Okay, so now if you can go to NFS, okay, network, if you can go to the network, okay, so you can just manage. Okay, so US is 1A and US is 1B and network interface and all these things, security groups, the default security group has been there. Okay, what we can do is we can go to the default security group and then we can enable that security group to allow this particular port. So now you are getting, right, understanding? No, little bit. Okay, I will just explain it again. Okay, so maybe just follow this one, then I can explain it again. So security group is kind of we have so many security groups, right? Security group means it has so many security groups. All the security groups will be having the default security groups and all these things will be there. Okay, so now we can change the security group. Okay, so what is security group ID here? If you can go here, the network option, okay, security group ID, security groups will be this one. Okay, so this is a firewall to be attached. Little bit confusing only. Okay, just try to understand. If you practice, this will be easy for you. I'm going to security group. I'm searching the security group over here. Okay, so this is the default security group. It has been created for you. Okay, now inbound rule and outbound rule, if you can see, so there is nothing inbound rule, outbound rule, only allowed HTTP and SSH only allowed. Okay, now I'm going to add the NFS also. NFS also should be allowed. Okay, to be able to connect to custom internet, anything can be allowed. Now what will be happening is that, okay, so your instances will be able to allow from everywhere. Okay, so now it is having everything's having a default this thing. Okay, so now if you can go and mount this one. Okay, so now it's been mounted. Now it's been successful. Okay, so far it was just hanging over there only. Okay, now it's got mounted. Okay, now if you can go and see here inside the cloud folder, there is nothing is been there. Okay, can you create one file? Okay, how to create one file? Touch. So can you just tell me some kind of a name that can be created? What could be the file name? Anybody? Huh? Hello.txt. You want to create with the hello.txt. Okay, so I'm not mentioning that name. He's suggesting that hello.txt. Hello.txt is the file I'm creating over here. Okay, now if you can see in this particular folder, I have a hello.txt file is there. But I want the same folder to be available in all 4 machines also. All EC2 machines, all the EC2 machines, whatever we have created, I want all these machines to be available over here also. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to another machine. I'm going to another server. Okay, I'm going to second server. Okay, second server. I'm just connecting it. Okay, I'm going to connect it. Now I'm going to create a mkdir. Now I'm creating some different folder name. Okay, it can be institution. Okay, here we have created cloud. Okay, now I'm giving institution. Okay, folder name. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the same command. I'm going to do the same command wherever we have done with the same command. There's the console. Okay, so I'm copying the same command, but the mount place will be different. Mount place will be what? Okay, mount place will be institution. Okay, institution. Okay, now if you can do this one, it is worked. Okay, so whenever I'm doing this one, it worked. Now if you can go to institution, see hello.txt is there. Yes or no? Did I create this? Did I create this one here? No, right? Now I'm going to create one more file here. Okay, now we can just see 2 instances, right? Okay, let's keep these 2 instances side by side. Okay, so here hello.txt we have created. Now here under institution there is one different folders. Okay, now I'm going to create one more file. Okay, now can tell me another file name? Huh? Okay, sample.txt. Okay, so he was mentioning sample.txt. As soon as, okay, if you can see ls here, only one file is there. I'm going to touch here. Okay, permission is denied, so I have to use sudo. Okay, so you know about, because I'm in a EC2 user kind of thing. Okay, so I'm using touch sample.txt. Now if we can go on do ls, see sample.txt here also is there. Yes or no? So what is the concept here? Now this was the concept, right? As I'm mentioning over here, okay, only one volume. Okay, this is the only one volume can be attached to multiple EC2 instances. So that is what called a EFS file system. Okay, so you can take only one volume, only one storage. That's what I was mentioning it, right? So in this class there are 10 systems are there. I want to copy my resume to all the systems. So now what I can do, I can go and create, I can mount this one, I can go and mount this, I can go and mount whatever this was mounted, right? I can go and mount like this one, and then I can create a folder. Inside that I put the files, Same time, all the systems will have same similar kind of a files. Okay, so this is what called, okay, NFS. Okay, in NFS is kind of a network file system, something like that we'll tell. But in AWS we called it as a EFS. What is EFS? EFS is called as a elastic file system. Okay, so what is elastic file system means? It's very simple concept, advanced concept also. Okay, tomorrow these guys are going to colleges, right? You can go to the colleges, you can just tell to your friends that, hey, I know NFS, I know EFS, with creating one folder I can do it multiple times, so these things and all you can tell to your, these things also you can represent to your staff. Okay, you can go to college and you can do some more practices like this one. You can tell to your staff that, ma'am, see, we have done like this, we have done all this experiment. Okay, you can also create a document, so we have worked on EFS storage and we worked on EBS volume. All these things also you can update in your document. So document will look really good. And tomorrow if you go for a job also, right, so if you go for a job and this kind of a concept, you can tell what's the difference, so they'll ask you that what's the difference between EBS volume and EFS volume. Now you tell me, right, so EBS volume can be attached to only one system only, right? Now only one system only you can attach. Okay, if you attach to more than one instances, it is not going to work. Okay, again, so if you can see that EBS volume, okay, so if you can go for EBS volume, okay, instances, okay, so if you go for a volume, okay, I'm creating one volume, okay, I'm creating one volume, okay, so that volume name is going to be, okay, general purpose volume, okay, so the size is going to be, I'm giving 7 GB for example, 7 GB volume I'm creating. Okay, this is kind of a hard disk, right? I'm creating. Now if you can do, okay, where is 7 GB volume? It's still been here. Okay, 7 GB volume. It's not attached anywhere. It's not attached to any kind of instances. Now I'm going to attaching. I'm going to attach volume to whatever instance is available. Okay, only one instance is showing. Why? Only one instance is only is there in this availability zone. Okay, so only one instance is there in this availability zone. Okay, now attaching to that instance only. Okay, the device name I'm choosing some kind of device name. Okay, we already seen this one, right, before. Now I'm attached. Now can I go and attach the same volume to some other instances? Is it possible? If we go and if we can go attach, it won't allow us to attach. Now what I can do, I can force detach volume. Okay, I can detach volume. Okay, I can do detach. Okay, so that GB, that one again I can attach to some other volumes. Okay, this is what the difference between. This is the difference between EBS volume and EFS volume. Okay, so this is what. Any questions? I'm going to stop the recording.